Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. On this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. Ugh. It's cold here. It's like 50 degrees here today, and I love it. Huge fan. But I took my car in for service at the dealership, and they put some political propaganda on my car, on my truck, I should say. So, had to buy myself a little heat gun to get that off. We have some good trigger discipline on our heat gun, so don't worry. We're being responsible. Now, today I am joined by my co-star, Talisker Storm. And let me tell you, it's been a day, and now I have to go to New York tomorrow. But I digress. Back to our question. YouTube user DM asked us, currently I'm going through a disability discrimination, retaliation, and sexual harassment case. Wow, that is a lot. I'm sorry. I work at a college, so now it is a title. So this says Title 12, but I suspect this person meant Title 9 investigation. Going on. I haven't been able to find an attorney to take my case in Minnesota. I have anxiety, which has grown into selective mutism. Oh my goodness. Due to the experiences, which makes it extremely difficult for me to speak at work. I have been preparing and writing, but I wish I had an attorney to assist. Would it even be worth it, especially with a Title 12 investigation? You are correct in that it affects one's well-being. This is not an easy road, but standing up is how change happens. Minnesota. Thanks for the info. Yeah, I agree with you completely. I agree with you completely that standing up is how change happens, and I applaud you for putting this on your plate. You didn't have to. You didn't have to be a hero, but you are being a hero. You're fighting back. You're pushing back, and that's really important. So here, you're saying Title 12. I'm guessing that might be a typo, and you mean Title 9. More importantly, though, Title 9 is often a shit show. And as a university employee, you may also, I believe, be protected by Title 7 from the sexual harassment, the disability discrimination, and the retaliation. And additionally, the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, will also protect your disability discrimination. So you've got a lot going on there. You're also probably going to have state and local laws in Minnesota that may also additionally protect you. Check with local counsel. And I say that not because I think Title 9 is horrible, but because Title 9 tends to give the university more power. And there's a core problem that occurs when you give academics power. That problem is that you gave academics power, right? Academics are a diverse group. Obviously, we can't generalize about them as a whole. But just kind of from experience, I'll tell you this. The people who get power in an academic setting tend to be the shittiest people. Why? Because it's people who self-selected into a job that they wouldn't necessarily have to care about a ton, right? Like they care about their discipline or whatever it is they study, but nobody was like, oh God, I want to be a professor, right? Like that's not anybody's goal, probably. Like that's not, right? I know a lot of professors and they were like, oh God, I want to study anarchy and economics and how they work together with human nature, right? That's the thing that my buddy is excited about, right? I have another friend. Her deal was like, I want to study how intimacy gets portrayed between actors in stage productions, like besides violence, right? So that was her passion. Her passion was not I want to be a professor, right? That she's a professor because that's how you make money while studying the thing you care about, right? That's a common trend in academia. There's a lot of physicists who don't care about the political wrangling that goes on in their department, right? There's a lot of biologists, computer scientists who are like, oh, I gotta go on this Title IX thing. I don't want bad things to happen to people. So like, I guess that's important, but like, will somebody else do it? Cause like somebody else could also stop the bad things from happening and then I wouldn't have to. Right. And so what you get is people who don't really have a lot of personal stake in this, trying to get away from it. And the people who are left over are kind of odd in a variety of ways. You get a real Karen gender non-denominational dynamic, right? Like, listen, Karen is a term. It's a hateful term. I have videos and you shouldn't really call people Karen, especially in the workplace, because it implies white female and that's a protected class and like that can get you in trouble sometimes. But if you just say Karen as in like gender non-denominational busybody, right? That's who you get a lot of times running Title IX. And I think we've all learned over the years that those gender non-denominational Karens, they were smarter. They wouldn't be Karens. They were more capable. They would have stuff going on, decisions to make, real concerns, hopes, aspirations, but they don't. They don't. And so they really, really want that power, that choke grasp on that Title IX power. And the power is more important to them than the right and the wrong of it sometimes. So you see really strange things happen in Title IX. And listen, it's not, I could tell you stories about Columbia University, Lord above. It's like they built an effigy to incompetence in their Title IX department. Like, and I can say that without breaking any confidence because some of this stuff has ended up in the papers or anything. Like, this is just known, right? Good Lord. I don't even know how they get dressed in the morning, the people who run this department. Like, incompetence personified, right? So DM, although I digress and rant about Title IX here, my point is, if your Title IX investigation is not going the way you want it to, you may very well have Title VII protections as well, and additional protections under state and local law that you should investigate that are going to be a little more built out. And fans of the channel are going to say, wait, is Vince saying the EEOC is better than something? I sure am. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, EEOC at least will get you to federal court. Title IX gets you to a hole in the ground or a hole in the head, frankly. Like, it empowers the university itself far too much. Like, the university in a case like this is saying, I don't know, do we do bad things? Because if we did bad things, we'd be liable. So maybe we didn't do bad things, right? Like that's inherent to Title IX. And there's a lot of history on this. I mean, Obama improved some of the procedures in Title IX and some of the edicts here. And, you know, there was some wrangling about it in the Supreme Court. And then the current administration kind of like rolled back all of his improvements. And we're back kind of a little bit where we began in terms of the inadequate nature of Title IX. So, DM, first and foremost, check out your options outside of Title IX. It's also, to address your question, often really difficult to get an attorney for Title IX because there's not too many attorneys who handle Title IX. And often the attorneys who do handle Title IX, they might not do it on a contingency basis. They might do it on an hourly basis. Now, we have handled Title IX cases on a contingency basis, and it's a lot of extra work. It's a lot of extra work. I mean, you need to teach a group of people who thought that they were safe from everything. They thought tenure was a get out of jail free card. You need to teach them fear, right? Like, they don't fully understand that you can get them. You can pull them out of their little 100 square foot box, which is they call an office, and you can reteach them pain. But they don't know that on day one, right? They think they're protected, ensconced in the weighty tomes and thick leather chairs of academia, right? Yeah, they're not. But you got to spend a lot of time harming people when you're dealing with Title IX before somebody wakes up and says, wow, a lot of people have been really hurt here, and I would like to not be one of those people. So let's start taking things seriously, right? That's essentially what you're going for in a Title IX investigation. You hurt a lot of bad people until some more bad people say, I would like to learn some self-interest and do the right thing. Title VII, there's some of that's automated a little bit. Like people know there's like a workplace sexual harassment claim, workplace disability discrimination claim. People inherently understand from like television and the news that can hurt them because they did bad things. Title IX, they don't really understand that. They really just don't. You stare into the cold dead eyes of some like political science professor who like does not understand that you can ruin them, and they're very brave because they're very ignorant, right? Is it bravery if you don't know to be afraid? I don't think it is. But again, like let's back to helping DM. So first thing I recommend is look into your options under Title VII. Now, the next thing I'll say is if you are stuck in Title IX for some reason, should you have an attorney is your question. If you can afford it, you absolutely should. You've already said this is costing you a lot. This is eating through a lot of your well-being. Even a mediocre attorney can bear some of that burden for you, can shoulder some of that weight, right? And a good attorney can do a lot more than that. A good attorney will reduce risk, add value, shoulder some of that weight for you, and systematically teach some bad people fear, right? And that's what you need to be doing here. So yes, you should absolutely investigate getting an attorney, although I would do so potentially using the protections of Title VII. And I'm just sorry I have to go through this. I wish you the best of luck here, okay? Like, subscribe, comment down below. Helps me to help you. Helps me to help more people just like you. Take care.